I get a bit of click. Ooh, actually, this actually appears to be working. Good God. Oh, okay. We'll actually sit down properly then. Excellent. Hello, Internet. Apparently you can see me. You can't see the stream. No, you should be. Yep, you can see the stream. Excellent. Hello, Internet. I'm Felix, and welcome to Stationeers. I started doing videos again, or tutorial videos again, on logic-based systems. Because I've been doing a lot of experimentation, partly because I don't know when I said this, but I think it was a little while ago that actually, you know, I'd had this idea for a game called Hatches, and the idea of Hatches was to kind of play off humanness, I guess, which. It's not that humans want to survive, it's part of it, but it's not all of it. Humans want to do as well as they can. And when you remove sort of law and order from that, things get a little bit messy. Humans require law and order to basically not do the things that they are completely and utterly capable of doing. So if you have a situation where you put 16 humans on a space station which isn't functioning properly, and you give them a number of shelters which also aren't working properly, but you don't necessarily know how much they've gone wrong to actually get in there, then it's reasonable to assume that the humans are always going to see that the grass is greener on the other side. And say if somebody's run into the greenhouse and appears to be doing very well for themselves, well, the people who aren't doing very well for themselves may want a little bit of that action, and it may not be necessarily through trade, but more trying to put a brick through the window. So, yeah, kind of turned my world into a bit of an experiment for Hatches. Turning Hatches into potentially a game mode for Stationeers, we'll see. But one thing I would definitely need the ability to do is to set up people's inventories, and my stream has just dropped. And now it's continuing. Sometimes it does this and just kind of goes through a little bit of a rocky patch and then it resumes again. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. So yeah, I've started using this as a bit of a trial for that, to see what kind of things I can do. But yeah, as I said, I would require the ability to alter people's inventories on booting in, on the basis that I would want to remove their entire tool belt, because it would make it a little bit too easy to break in if you could just get access to a crowbar or a grinder full stop. There's some tools that I would want to basically disable, the grinder being one of them, simply because the grinder and the drill, you don't need either for sort of low level stuff. It's those two are mainly used for construction or breaking down construction, so I'd want those to be disabled completely. Wire cutters, on the other hand, no, not so much actually. They're quite useful for if you put a cable down incorrectly, or rectifying issues that you might find with your bunker. So yeah, that's and I've been playing around with logic systems, which I'm gonna show you in a sec. I need to get some coal though, because the lab works off coal power, not off solar, which can get a little interesting, but yeah, the lab is basically where I've been running some experiments, and I'll show you those in I just need to fuel it up, and we'll jump in. There's two basically here that we've got, so that's operational now. Yep, we're online. So the two that we've got is this room, basically contains both logic systems. So one of these that we've got is a flashing light, and this flashing light will turn on, and if I just close these doors, I'll show you this one in a sec properly. Close these both doors. If I turn this one on and set that one to outward, I don't know what it's actually pumping in, but when we get to, I believe the pressure threshold is about 10 on the test. When it's pressurized up to 10 kilopascals, I don't know what the pressure is, but anyway, that light will turn off. It's a warning light, basically, to say that this area has suffered from some kind of depressurization event. And I'm going to just fit my exhaust tank to that, because I need to empty it anyway, my waste tank. Oh yeah, that one. So that should now theoretically turn off. I don't know actually what I set it to, where the threshold was, but it's probably going to do it up to... Anyway, it does work. It's just not working at the moment. Well, it's not fully functional at the moment, so I'm going to empty that room. Anyway, the other one that is functional is this lock. Now, this is a 10,000 combination lock to open this blast door, and the current code is 100, and that will open. You can set this to anything though. There's a memory chip down here that stores the data, and so you can set that combination to anything you like. And yeah, anybody who wants to get through this door, well, they've got a combination to solve. And with 10,000 combinations, 10,000? Yeah, I think it's 10,000. Basically, they're going to run out of air before they work out what the combination is. Now, the way you can you can lock it either by just doing that, basically just reducing that down to 0. But yeah, it does support thousands, hundreds, tens and ones, and I did do a video tutorial on that on it. It was a bit of a messy construction, but you can kind of see how it was done. Obviously, if anybody's got any problems with it, let me know, and I can go into a bit more detail at some point. So yeah, this is the lab. This is just where I test a few bits and pieces out. I wanted a secure space to test pressurization comparison systems, and yeah, and that system would also work for temperature. It's quite simply you pull information from a gas sensor, wherever it is, down there, and that's looking at pressure, and then you just compare it with a memory chip that's got the pressure on it, and then you use a logic writer to write the state to the flashing light. You can also do things like change the colour of some of these screens and the like through logic systems. That one's stuck at purple because I was having some small issues, which turned out it was completely my fault. On one of the logic maths, for some reason I was taking the total amount and then times it. It was all going horribly wrong, and it was stuck in the loop, and so now the colour of that lock screen is purple. So yay. Right, moving on out. So this is the new room. This is the new sort of test room, if you like. I'm testing out some processing systems in here. We've got conveyor belts. I want to test to see if conveyor belts will work through walls. The reason for that being that what I would like is for a conveyor system to... Well, really what I want is a conveyor door, but I don't have that accessibility, so at the moment I'm just going to set up a wall system and see if this can pass through walls, basically. But in order to do that, I was also testing out a few other bits and pieces, and I wanted to build a new base for processing materials anyway. So yeah, it sort of grew into this with a very large airlock system out here, and suit storage systems, because I wanted to have a look at the suit storage stuff. And then the idea is that that if you want to create something, you can actually do it through here. I've set up a couple of fabricator controls. One of them is next to the fabricator itself. But I do need to make some steel sheets, actually. And I should have the steel sheets. You hear a sort of a clicking. I don't know if you will. Basically, I am currently breaking in a new mouse. The old mouse, basically the battery was dying in it anyway, because I use wireless mice. And I don't understand these people who say, well, how can you possibly game with a wireless mouse? What happens if the mouse runs out of battery? Well, what I do is I take my cable, which is lying next to the mouse, and plug it in. Gone are the days of having to put your mouse into a cradle to charge it. And I've got a load of floor gratings as well. So, yeah, I am breaking in a new mouse. It's a Logitech MX Performance, I think. It's basically an upgrade to the mouse that I already had. It's the new model, and it's got a load of gimmicks on it that I will well, it's got one gimmick on it that I won't be using, which is the ability for it to connect to 3 computers. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is, and so yeah, it's just a thing that's on it. And it can connect to the computer via Bluetooth if I wanted to, but I've just got the dongle in because why not? It's a nice it's a nice mouse. It's wireless, which means I don't have to worry about cables, because I find that if you've got a long distance between your mouse and just basically less cables is a good thing. When you've already got loads of cables on your desk, then just having less cables is always nice. So yeah, I'm currently breaking that in, so it might be a bit clicky for the next little while until it sort of softens, but for now, yeah, it's a reasonably decent mouse. Well, I say reasonably, it's a good mouse. So far, no problems with it out the box. I'm using the charge on it, and it's not died yet, so that's all good. Unlike my other one, which yes, it didn't do well. End of the day, it was slowly dying, so it was about time for a new mouse anyway. And yeah, I far prefer spending that on a mouse than I would on, say, an Oculus Rift. It wasn't as much as an Oculus Rift, but you get the idea. So yeah. And thus we go back to Stationeers, and the stream seems to be holding out quite well, which is good. I do prefer streaming than to doing a load of editing, though even though people at work seem to want me to do more editing. Well, that one person at work wants me to stop using Movie Maker, but yes, it's a bit of a point of contention among just people in general in the editing circle. You know, what software do you use? Oh, I use Movie Maker. Oh God, why would you do that to yourself? And then of course I mentioned about how if I use Movie Maker to edit a video, because I record the video and the audio separately, because I need to work on the audio, which Movie Maker won't allow me to do much of anyway, without cranking the entire volume up, and yeah, it gets messy. So yeah, that also makes editors cringe a little. That I think it's less that I do it that way, and more that that they know that matching audio up with video is an absolute pain. But anyway, yeah, you'll probably see some more tutorial videos anyway, because I like I wanted to call it Station Engineers for some reason. Anyway, Stationeers. I like the game. It works. It's what I expect from a game, and oh, I need a new battery as well. And you get used to the UI. The UI really isn't a problem at all. and you have all these really funny stories of people doing stupid things and kind of just forgetting about stuff and doing something stupid in the game, and it's caused untold sort of problems for them. Right, I need to do a few things at this point, I think. Apart from finishing here, which obviously I do need to do, I need to put 4 more things on craft. I've got plenty of iron. That's not the problem. The problem is steel. Plus I want to make some more sort of advanced things from this thing. Yeah, my problem is steel at the moment. I do need to sort that out, which in turn means actually fixing my fueling supply and my pressure supply. So that might need to be the next thing that we do. For the moment though, I will get some flooring in. I'll just make that last 4 flooring. They seem to have also fixed this weird issue that the floor would rotate. So you'll notice, yeah, the floor grating, that's the one. So I need 4 of those. Floor grating would rotate depending on something or other. I could never work out why it was doing it. So on some floors over in the original base, you'll notice that some of the floor is at different angles to the rest of it. Yeah, I never did work out why. We've just lost power. Yeah, I never did work out why that was the thing, but this floor, for example, is all now nice and neat, all of the same direction, all the way through the base. They've done a huge amount of optimization, I think, because my computer is not running as hard as it used to. Also, they have done something with the terrain which caused it to sort of add itself, and yeah, I need to sort that one out as well. And cooling systems and temperature controls, it's all a thing that's going to need to be changed. I might put in some logic pylons in here actually, so I've got the space for it, and I could put I could put a logic pylon in there and maybe another logic pylon in there. That's basically what I'm calling these logic, well, pylons, I guess. But I'll have to wait for the power to come back online. Well, for the moment, we can go out and get some more iron, or just resources anyway. Oh, another thing that I did change is where this is placed. So everything that I smelt now automatically goes into the fabricator. I removed all the other machines because I don't need them. All I really need at this point is the fabricator, because it makes everything, basically. And yeah, you do need the computer to actually run it, but once you've got the materials to do it, it's actually a really, really good idea to just get yourself the fabricator, on the basis that you can set up these computers anywhere in the base. It will interface with the fabricator, and yeah, so if I'm down here, if I need more components for this, I can actually count out exactly what I need, go over to the computer and order it. My only sort of big sort of issue at the moment is getting the components up here. So yeah, that's going to be a thing that we need to do as well at some point, as well as getting all of this online. And yeah, there's an awful lot to do, a lot of little experiments to do to see what works. I also need the atmospheric control stuff, which I can't do yet. I need unless I've got some frames knocking around. Oh, I cleaned up all the frames, I cleaned up all of my logic. It's all... Oh, actually, I'll just show you, actually. So before, my logic was basically just all over the floor. It's no longer that bad. So all my frames that I had just lying around, all of this has been welded up. We've got floor grating and railings on this section here. And going in through here, before all my logic was basically lying all around here. Now it's behind this wall. I won't take it all down, but yeah, all of the logic that deals with the combination lock, it's all behind here, so it's all nice and neat. We've got our memory boards over here. This bit deals with converting the dials into tens, hundreds and thousands. That bit over there deals with adding them all up and then comparing them to the memory. And then that one over there writes the logic to the... It's either to the door or to the screen, I can't remember which. There is a writer under here that does... I think that writer under there does the door and that one does the panel up there. But yeah, it's nice to just have it all hidden away, even if you do still see the little studs of where things actually are. Right, so let's get our mining stuff together and go and do that. So I do need some more resources because I've got this new. I've got to get this furnace sorted out properly. And I'm tempted to do something with that airlock as well, but anyway. Actually, I can go through to that room. It's a bit of a walk, but we can actually get round there. I mean, eventually I would quite like to have... Well, it'll be a bit like a town, you know, with pathways sort of crisscrossing between them. At the moment, this is just sort of my emergency entrance, which sort of goes around here. Through here. There's some really good images of all this stuff on the Stationeers Steam page. Now this needs to be a mix of gas between... It's 33. It's meant to be 33 and 66. 30/70 isn't going to cut it because it's got to be a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm going to have to data it into a. Also, I don't know why these are kicking out errors. So this line here is my exhaust and it's got a valve on it just so that I can keep the pressure that's required. Downside of doing that, I've got no back pressure regulator on there, so if this overpressurizes, that's going to be most of this room gone. Or at least it's going to do quite a bit of damage to this room, which obviously I do not want. So maybe I do need to have a quick look at the back pressure regulator. Do I have my drill? No, I have to go back the long way. I'm trying to use my jetpack as little as possible. I don't want to run out of jetpack fuel, because it's volatiles, and currently I don't actually have a way of filtering out the volatiles, which is an issue. Right, I need my drill. Let's just get this fixed. Or my pickaxe. Pickaxe will do. I'm only going through here. Thank you. So I can just get rid of this. Basically, it's just a terrain bug that's been caused by the change in how they generate terrain. It's now done in regions rather than just everything, because it was causing performance problems all over the place. So yeah, that's now clear. Probably also get a computer for in there. I mean, this one needs to be an airlock. The reason for that is that it needs to... Yeah, this is the right way round, isn't it? Ish. I don't actually want this as an airlock. I don't think. Thinking about it. So basically what I want is for the furnace room to be an area where gas is always going to be produced. So let me just think about this. So it's going to be creating gas that I don't really want in the system, but it's there's always going to be a bit that flows up this way. So instead of it being an airlock, what I want to do is put in a gas detector. So if it detects anything that's not oxygen, it needs to pull it out and put it into a tank, I think. Yeah, it needs to be able to evacuate the room if there's something in there that isn't oxygen. So actually I don't want an airlock here. What I want is an evacuation room that will pull out anything that's not oxygen. Well, it will just pull out the entirety of the atmosphere, stick it into a tank or a container for later that would probably be in here somewhere. And then, yeah, so actually all of these need to come out. Alright, we're doing that. Let's rebuild this. I've got plenty of logic systems that I can use for this. So let's start off by crowbar. Let's crowbar that one as well. Wait a minute, I don't want to... hold on. I need to unbind these, don't I, first? I need the data disk, which is currently in the other computer, because I was doing some data disk stuff. Or at least I was attempting. I thought that you needed the data disk to bind that fabricator to the thing, but you don't. It will just kind of do it. Right, in here. Let's now unbind all of this. So that's now permitted that. And then, yeah, and then we can just claw this out. And the same with this. Right, okay, grab the airlock controls out of here. Bear with me. That one out. Right, why do we have a lock? Oh. Damn it. Yeah, it's okay. I think what's happened is that the airlock still thinks that it's actually an airlock. So I've got to put a panel together. I think I possibly put in a motherboard that I need to turn the consoles off first. There we go. Let's unbind that. Make sure these consoles are off before I do anything else. Right. And by doing anything else, I mean let's just get this out. I do still want this to be like an airlock, I think. Right, so we're going to have the two doors that go through to there. Got plenty of consoles as well, which would be useful for what I want to do. That stacks in 5. And stack in 1. And should be able to just get the last one out. Okay. Right, so we've got all of the stuff that we need now. Oh no, we've got that out. Sorry. So now we need to create our logic system. The way I'm going to do that is going to pull off these walls until I find one that I can attach to. Should be that one. Right, okay, so what do we want this room to do? Well, we want it to... Oh, do we need to redirect that one as well? Yeah, we do. Just going to do a bit of deconstruction. Also grab... iron frames times by 4. Okay, that needs to come out. So I'm going to be rerouting it into about here. And was it to get that one? Something like that. Should do the trick. Goes through there, right? Oh, I can move this up a little bit as well. Long side down and all that. Where's my canister? Go in there. And then I just need the pipes. Right. So that is going to output into this canister here. really what I would want to do is output into down there eventually. Connect the blue pipe to the waste pipe, and then the waste pipe would go down that way, but I need to make sure that it's doing what I think it should be doing. Alright, I'll drop that there for the moment. Might need it again. We'll put in an iron frame up here. And also grab some welding equipment, or things that we need to weld with, which would be iron sheets. Do 8 of them. 8 would be fine. I need a dial of some description. Or be a button, really. I've got the sensors. It's the what am I looking for? Got the sensors, the button logic. Logic switch. That'll be more for when we've finished building this logic. Pressure doesn't really matter at the moment because we don't have anything to pressurize. I need the console. So if you scroll, medium console should do the trick. Yeah, so the small console takes 1, the medium takes 2, and the large takes 3. This is just the 2, and I will also need the UI logic writer. Okay. It should be that one. Let's put it in there. The power's gone off, of course, so stick a new battery in while we're doing this, and some cabling would be nice as well, if I've got any. I don't know, about 30 of them. I go through quite a lot of copper cable. Right, so I want a button, I think, and I should be able to put this either way round. Shouldn't matter. So I'll be able to hit the button, and then it will run a. The idea is that it will run a check, which I can do over here. So it's going to read the information from the pressure sensor. Yeah, I mean that one is just going to be writing information from physics. Yeah, it should be alright. We'll do a 4-way junction there, and a T-piece, cable junction. What's that? Oh, that's because it's a... No, no, it can't... Really? What's that bumping up against? Right, let's open this wall up. Let's take this wall off. Oh, because there's a cable that runs down here, that's why. So I would need to take this one off, take this one off. Oh wait, this doesn't need to be a thing anyway. Ugh. So that goes up to there. Right. Just going to weld this one all the way up. Doesn't matter too much on the basis that we've got the iron walls in, but if I do want to go and expand the logic system, if I do need more wall space to expand the logic system out, that'd be quite a nice way of doing it. Especially as this not hooked into the... Oh yeah, well yes, it's not actually hooked into the power at all. Okay. This is me building logic systems live. Oh, that's the one I wanted. More cable. This probably isn't the most clean cable, and I probably will sort of come back to it and neaten it up, just so that the machine isn't having to pointlessly work out where things are sort of going. But for now, it'll do the trick. This is more for testing purposes than anything. So the input is going to be a gas... What's it called? The east gas sensor. For some reason, it can only see... a button and a... Oh. Okay, why can I not see that one? Are they not attached? I mean, we know it's got power, but... East Venice. Logic writer. So the power comes in from here. Powers that. Powers these. We know that these are on because we can see that they're on. Comes into here. It's only seeing the button and that which I've just placed. I wonder if there's something going on because the no, deconstruct these two. Can I now see that? Even though that's just a gas sensor now. Let's remove this cable in case it's causing oddities. Okay, that is apparently not connected to the power, and yet it is. Right, what's going on? Gonna have to trace my power lines. Right. So that is being fed out of there. How is that's not being powered anymore, but that's... Oh, right, those are... No, those aren't actually being powered anymore. Okay. Panic over. Where's my sensor? Right, construction kit sensor. What if I put you down here? No. Okay. Right, that logic writer is still only... What on earth is going on? And now that's run out of battery again. Nope. Okay, why isn't this working? The in, the out. Very least that's the in, and that's going in. That can see those things, but for some reason it cannot see the gas sensor. Logic. Oh wait, sorry, this is a writer, not a... The in... Okay, this is now saying everything on this side, on the out. But I need to pull the information from the... Wait. Yeah, what I need is... I may have just got a bit confused. Yeah, that's the logic reader that I need. Actually, I'm going to expand out a bit over here. This is the sort of dim mistake I tend to make. Corner. Should be alright with just a corner here. This one needs to be a cable junction T-piece. Right. Turn that on. Hopefully now... yeah, I can see the gas sensor. Right, I need to label it, because otherwise you're never going to find it. Always label your stuff. So this is the Atmos drain sense Atmos drain. Yeah, some of my names get a little long, but it's well worth it. Drain. I mean, that may end up being pulling from a different source, but for now that'll be alright. So need Atmos drain sensor, and we want to be pulling out it's like ratio pollutant, really, don't we? Reader out to the that one. I think it's setting. So currently that's not reading any atmosphere whatsoever. I mean, I could just set it to pressure if we would get a state of 0. Temperature, we get a state of 0 because it's not hot in here. I think it's just going to have to be a bit of a case of... well, ratio oxygen, we can set up a memory chip. Should have a memory chip. Do we have a memory chip? Probably not, actually. Let's make a memory chip. I've probably got one in the other room, but they're not that expensive to make. What I remember. Yeah, a bit of gold, bit of copper. So basically, if you're watching this sort of stuff for the first time, memory. So your logic reader, they read information from devices. Your writer writes that information to devices in some respect. Then you've got things like your compare chips, which compare information, which I'm just off to grab one. Logic processor. Which will be a logic compare we want. The problem is putting it too close to that door. I may not actually be able to Yeah, I'm gonna need all of that. I'll see. We'll see where that goes. So this is a compare unit. It will compare the logic reader information with the logic memory. So if we've got a low percentage of oxygen in here, we should be able to filter it, essentially, in theory. Just going to put that wall in. I just want to get some of my random bits and pieces off the floor. Just keep reasonably tidy, if at all possible. I don't need to have that open anymore. Is that the same as all the rest of it now? Yeah, it's all orientated that way, which is good. I'm going to need to pull up this floor by the looks... Well, I'm going to have to pull up most of the flooring by the looks of things and just relay it. Just so that it's all orientated in the same direction. I need that active vent because I need to put that one in up here. I mean, for the moment, something that I can do is just display the ratio, and then if I need to use this thing, then I can just basically turn it on. I'd quite like a logic system to automatically do it for me, but for the moment, that's probably the system that I'm going to be using. Which means I need to take that apart and just put in a 4-way, and then right. So now and when that atmospheric system is a little bit more complete, I will sort of do a tutorial video on quite how I made it all work. I think for the moment I'll just cover it up, and it should work. When power comes back on, in fact, I can probably have got this cell. There you go. So now, when I do anything in here that involves releasing gases, I should be able to then put it all into that tank and then move it across into this system. And I think this system is probably going to be the next thing that I will work on. Probably not on camera. I'm probably gonna end this video here for now, and we'll be back with some stuff. I've got quite a few little bits and pieces to get sorted out, and as I said, next time we have next tutorial. I think next tutorial will be a little cleaner than last time. I've learnt my lesson from that one. Having a mess on screen is not a good plan. So yeah. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here, I think, now, because I'm basically just wandering around in the dark doing a few bits and pieces that I need to do. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. And oh, they haven't fixed that issue. Because it's done, it's changed the orientation again. I hate this. It's apparently snapped to grid faces, but I don't know how you because now that orientation is different to what the rest of the floor is. Yay! And there's no way of just rotating it. I wish they'd fix that. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Done an hour. So with that, I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.